guys, welcome back to the Thornbridge Smallholding. So today we're going on a brewery tour. I've organised it with one of our head brewers, basically to get an understanding of the brewing process and how we make our beers here at Thornbridge, and also to understand what exactly we feed to our livestock. So let's go and find one of the head brewers and let's get going. Sorry about the background noise, but it is a working brewery.
The grain gets delivered into the silos.
Okay, so whereabouts does the grain come from then?
So we use Simpson's Maltster, so it's all UK grain.
Yeah.
For most of our beers.
Yeah.
This pallet of malt actually that we're leaning on has come from Bamberg, so this is German Pilsner malt, so this goes in our Lucas.
Okay, cool.
But for most of our beers we use British Marisotta, which is what comes in the silos. Yeah. And then we'll use a few bagged specialty malts as well.
Simpson's malt, are they based Norfolk?
I think they're Norfolk or Suffolk, yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, and we use various different coloured malts and specialty malts depending on what beer we're brewing.
Real.
And then it comes from the silos and from the bags. Yeah. And we pass it through the mill.
Right, okay, so that's a mill.
We can adjust that to get the right crush on our grain. Right. So we want a fairly fine crush. Yeah. And then from there, it gets piped through into this grist case. So this has got a full brew in it right now, 850 kilos for this beer.
Oh, right, okay, so that was the other question I was going to ask. Volume, you're talking per
Yeah, so this is quite a small one. This is a Green Mountain, 850 kilos, and there'll be another 100 odd going in upstairs as well. We've got a Jaipur, we're about 1200 kilos for every brew.
For anyone who don't know, Jaipur is the most popular, famous one for Thornbridge Brewery.
So 5.9%, so when it's a stronger beer, we need to use more grain.
Oh wow, cool.
So yeah, Green Mountain's only 4.3, so a bit less grain for that one. Fantastic. Green Mountain's got a lot of wheat in as well, which is barley.
Right, we'll go and see the next process. So the whole brewing process is controlled via these computers. So understand the brewing process. So what's this tank again, sorry?
So this is the mash tun. Yeah. And this is where we infuse all our grains and water.
Right, okay.
And then once the mash is complete, we transfer it all over to this vessel, which is the lamp tun. So we've got grains in here at the moment. Right. So we're getting all the sugars out of the grain. Yeah. And slowly running the liquid off.
Okay. So that's literally the grain, the molten barley that's basically had hot water bubbling it and boiling it. Yeah.
Basically.
Okay. So what happens to it after that then?
So then we extract the liquid and we boil it up. Yeah. Then it moves across into this vessel. This is the wort kettle. Okay. And we'll add some hops in here. Yeah. And you can see there's a lot of very hot liquid in there.
Yeah, steaming.
So that's a really good boil in there. Okay. And then we move it across into the hop nick where it gets infused with leaf hops. Yeah. And then we cool it down and pump it through into the cellar. It's actually quite a good time to look in here because we're doing that right now. Okay. It'll be a bit steamy. I'll just stand on that side. So you can see there's all the hops. Oh wow! Yeah. And the wort that's been boiled flowing over the top of them. Yeah.
So whereabouts where do you buy your hops from then?
So all over the world. We get some hops from the UK. Yeah. We get some from Australia, New Zealand, America. Right.
Cool.
Yeah. And here's some hops ready for the next brew in leaf form.
Oh wow. Yeah, you can really smell it.
Yeah, some hop pellets, so these are going in the boil. Real. So we need to provide the brew house with hot and cold water. Yeah. So obviously we need our hot water to mash in. Yeah. And this is a liquor mixer, so it will mix the hot and cold water together to get the desired temperature. And then we use cold water to actually cool the wort down after it's been boiled.
Okay, so
that goes through a heat exchanger. Right. So I can show you that. So this is a plate heat exchanger. Yeah. And the cold water gets pumped one way through it. Yeah. And the hot wort that's just been boiled and gone through the hops that we saw upstairs, that gets pumped the other way through it. Okay. Counterflow. Cool. So the computer will adjust all the valves in order to hit the target temperature that we want, which is about 16 degrees in the tank. Amazing that it cools 6,000 litres down to boiling to 16 degrees without.
So obviously once we finish this process over here then, in the hop house.
The brew house.
The brew house, sorry. I'm guessing it comes over to these tanks, does it?
Yeah, this is the fermenting cellar.
Right, okay.
Conditioning, so we'll add the yeast to the wort, and then it'll ferment for between 5 and 10 days, depending on the beer style.
Okay.
ABV. And then we'll cool it down. If it's getting dry hops, we'll add hops at that point. The lagers, we mature them for a long time, so they'll have up to a month in the tank to mature.
Yeah.
And then we purify the beer using a centrifuge.
Right, yeah.
Refining, prepare it for packaging and get it carbonated.
Yeah.
And then it will be filling kegs, going into cans and bottles.
So can you look in those tanks or not? Is that the start or like that?
I've never done it. Probably find an empty one if you want.
Yeah, if that's possible.
But it's not been sterilised yet.
Right.
It's just been cleaned now.
Okay.
Get a bit of light on for you, you can have a look in.
A very big empty tank.
Probably very dark on the camera. That'll hold it'll hold 15,000 litres.
Right, okay. And how many tanks have you got here?
We've got 29 of those.
29 of them.
Yeah.
Right. So producing a lot of brew with.
This is 2 brews.
Yeah. So you're brewing twice a day then, or is it one a day?
4 times a day.
4 times a day?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And a bit on weekends as well when we need to.
Yeah.
And then, so this is a double brew. Those tanks over the back row are all single brews, so 50 hectolitres or 5,000 litres. And we've got 9 of those, and then we've got another 4 as well, just down the end.
So, have you got any idea how much you're producing a week, liquid-wise?
I can work out how many pints we produce there with it.
Right, right. So that's 200,000 pints a week?
A week, yeah, pretty much, give or take.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot then.
Quite a lot, yeah. I get quite a good view from here of the packaging line as well.
Wow.
I'll let you stand it then. Yeah, you can see the empty bottles come onto the bottling line here, and they go along the conveyor and behind these casks, and then they go through that machine, which is our labeller.
Right.
So they'll put a neck label on, front and back labels, and then they carry on their journey around the conveyor at the back there, and along into the bottling unit, which is that square you can see at the back. And there they'll get the bottles get rinsed out. They get purged with carbon dioxide, filled, and you can see all the caps actually on that magnetic conveyor belt. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So then we can load the bottle caps in to the hopper, and they get pulled up the conveyor belt and go across and down to the machine.
Wow. Cool.
And then we've got our canning machine, so you can see the pallets of empty cans, and they get loaded up into that cage there, which depalletises them and lifts them up. They come along the conveyor belt and down into the machine, and they will get filled and then come out, and they all go through into the next hall to get put into boxes.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. So here's a bit of the bottling line as I'm walking past. And here's a bit of the canning line. So this is that cage that you were on about. And then once it's gone through the machine, it goes through to the next room that we're about to walk into. So this is the packaging hall where everything goes into boxes and then shipped out. And there's obviously plenty of warehouse space. So this is the tap room. So if you're ever in Bakewell, you can always pop in, grab a beer and a pizza. The grains I actually feed to my animals comes from the little brewery, which is at the very back of the tap room itself. So this is very much the same as the big brewery, but just a small scale. So you've got the mash tun and the kettle for the hops. And obviously once it's finished that process, it goes into these fermenting tanks. So obviously once the beer is ready to go, we can then start filling the casks up and bottles and all that kind of stuff. To then go to the supermarkets, the bars, the restaurants, for
people to enjoy a lovely pint. So as we're down here, we're going to pick up the grain for the livestock. So obviously, as you know now, that this is Maris Otter barley, and this goes to the livestock. And here's some of the hops. To compost heaps, and we then put that back on either on the fields or in the garden.
So yeah, that is the end of the video, guys. If you enjoyed that, then please make sure you like and subscribe. When I say like, I mean the thumbs up button. It just helps me out and understand the kind of content that you guys like watching. So if you like it, then don't forget to do it, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys. Bye bye.